Young man, this is a serious matter. Do you promise to tell the truth?
Yes, I promise.
Very well, proceed.
On paper, Judge Hale's resume was flawless. Top law school, former federal clerk, decades on the bench. He presided over high-profile cases involving corporate executives, political donors, and influential families. And almost every time, the powerful won. Charges dismissed. Evidence ruled inadmissible. Cases delayed until witnesses disappeared or memories faded. At first, no one questioned it. After all, judges have discretion. The law is complicated. But quietly, patterns began to form. A construction tycoon accused of bribery, case thrown out on a technicality, a pharmaceutical executive tied to fatal drug trials, key evidence excluded, a politician's son involved in a fatal hit-and-run, reduced to probation. Meanwhile, in the same courtroom, low-income defendants received maximum sentences. Minor parole violations sent men back to prison for years. Public defenders lost motion after motion. Same judge, same courtroom, very different outcomes. The public saw fairness, but insiders saw something else. No, something was wrong. A shadow behind the gavel. The first case was the smallest person in the courtroom that day wasn't a threat. He was 12 years old. His feet didn't touch the floor as he sat at the defense table, so he was brought forward right before the judge, hands in cuffs, eyes scanning a room he didn't understand. His name was Evan. He was accused of breaking into a warehouse owned by a wealthy donor connected to the judge. There were no fingerprints, no video, no eyewitness. But there was pressure. The public defender asked for more time. The judge said no. She tried to explain Evan had been at school. The judge cut her off. Enough. Minutes later, Evan was sentenced to 18 months in juvenile detention. For a crime no one proved he committed. To an adult, 18 months is a number. To a child, it's a stolen childhood. By the time Evan was released, he spoke less, trusted no one, and never went back to school the same way. Years later, investigators would uncover the judge's pattern of protecting the powerful. Evan's case was buried. No appeal, no apology. Just a boy who learned too early that justice isn't always blind. Sometimes it knows exactly who it's protecting. The second case that raised real alarm involved a name few people recognized, but everyone with power did. Elliot Grayson, a billionaire real estate developer accused of laundering millions through shell companies. Federal investigators had wire transfers, email trails, even a cooperating witness. The case should have been airtight, but when it reached Judge Hale's courtroom, everything unraveled. Key testimony was delayed. A search warrant was ruled improperly executed. Financial records were excluded due to a filing error no one had ever seen enforced before. Within weeks, the case collapsed. Grayson walked free. Behind the scenes, prosecutors were stunned. One assistant U.S. attorney quietly asked a question no one wanted to voice. How did he know exactly where to strike? That question would change everything. While elites were protected, others paid the price. Take Marcus Reed. A warehouse worker arrested for possession after a routine traffic stop. No prior felonies, no violence. Judge Hale sentenced him to 8 years. Or Elena Morales, a single mother accused of welfare fraud over paperwork errors. Judge Hale denied leniency. Her children entered foster care. These cases never made headlines. But they shared something in common. Judge Hale followed the law rigidly, but only when it hurt the powerless. Justice wasn't broken, it was selective, and someone was benefiting. The first whistleblower wasn't a journalist, it was a clerk, a junior court employee who noticed sealed documents being accessed late at night by a judge who wasn't assigned to those cases. She said nothing at first, until she noticed something else. Judicial calendars altered, case assignments quietly rerouted, emails deleted, but not fully erased. She reported it anonymously. At first, nothing happened. Then another report surfaced, then another. Different departments, same judge. Federal investigators began pulling files. What they found was devastating. A pattern emerged. Judge Hale wasn't just ruling favorably, he was coordinating outcomes. Defense attorneys connected to powerful clients received advance notice. Prosecutors were blindsided in court. Evidence was excluded using obscure precedents, always benefiting the same circle. Money never went directly to the judge. Instead, it moved through speaking fees, consulting contracts, family trusts, political donations tied to his allies, legally insulated, morally bankrupt. When investigators confronted one attorney, he broke, and he said the words that sealed Judge Hale's fate. He told us which motions to file and when. For the victims, exposure came too late. Marcus Reed lost 8 years of his life. Elena Morales lost her children. When the scandal broke, families watched the news in disbelief. How many verdicts were tainted? How many lives were altered? Some convictions were overturned, many were not. Because corruption, once embedded, is difficult to fully undo. And the powerful men Judge Hale protected, most never faced consequences. Their cases were legally resolved. Justice delayed became justice denied. Judge Hale resigned quietly. No perp walk, no handcuffs on camera. He was later indicted on federal corruption charges. In court, the irony was unavoidable. A man who once decided others' fate now stood before a jury. He was convicted, sentenced. But to many, it felt incomplete. This wasn't just about one judge. It was about power unchecked, about systems trusted blindly, about how justice can be bent, not broken, when the wrong people control it. The question isn't whether corruption exists. It's whether we're watching closely enough to stop it. Because the most dangerous criminals don't always carry weapons. Sometimes they carry a gavel. If this story made you question the system, if it made you angry, if it made you think, then share it. Because silence is what corruption depends on. This has been Undercover Crime Files. And this case was hidden in plain sight. Subscribe for more.